boxes are the combos where we try natural but end up C-section. All these other sections do the same thing too here. Thank you, Ranty Randy. Love it. He's got some really cool, fun videos. If y'all are not following him, he does CPC content too. We should do a collab, by the way. And we should do like a a TikTok collab, and you teach something and I back off of you and back and forth. That would be so much fun. So let's go to our 90. Let's go to 690 and see what's going on with this one. So we're going to be in the back of the 6000s. I can't see what's going on in my camera right now because of my camera view. Look how hot it is here in Arizona. Yeah, I need to fold up my camera, my laptop real quick so that I can get closer to the camera view. There we go. That's going to help me be able to see what I'm doing here. And now I just got to get my camera to focus again. 690. Where are we at? 690. We're going to be over here in our auditory system. Don't forget to look up your guidelines too. Our 9000 and our 9020 are under 0020 are under the same header, which is just incision. So that's super helpful. All we need to know is what our differences is. And look, they both start out with the same CPT code descriptor, which is drainage, external, ear. This one says auditory canal. This one says abscess, but it's external ear, where this one says canal. So that one word difference might be what we're dealing with. So I would look through the question and see if we are dealing with a canal or the ear. And I do see canal written there. And yep, that's the right answer. I love that one. That's all you needed to do. And I just looked for the coding, the similarities here. Don't forget, every little picture that you find in your book, you can always add something else. You can add some prefixes and suffixes to the area. Super helpful when you do that. How do I find this quiz? Yeah, Shannon, there's no link to this quiz. Sorry. This one's different. I'm going to bring it up one more time. Hold on. I am going to put this one here. And let's see if we can't do, if I can. I need my keyboard up, but I don't have it. We are going to do this one next. Let's see about the 215s. I like for y'all not to see the question first. And let's go to the codes first. So we've got our 615 and our 615. Let's go see what header those are under. That might be more helpful. $6.15. Let's see. Where is our 6.15? Y'all gotta be faster than I am looking for these codes. We've got 6.15.14 is our first one. 6.15.14. we're going to be way over here as our burr hole is our 14 and our 22. No, 615. Wrong one. 615. 14. Brain tumors. We're under craniotomy. Craniotomy. Anybody know the ending of the code for craniotomy in Lab and Path? What is always the code for craniotomy in microscopic Lab and Path? Yes, Red. There is one. I don't know right on. For 2 or more items, 30% gin. Written that way. So 07 is the Lab and Path craniotomy one. If you ever see craniotomy, it's always 07. The ending digit for Lab and Path code for the right one. Anyway, our 14 is a brain tumor excision. Super cool. And then our 22 is also a craniotomy for excision of a brain tumor, but this one's infra tumors and the other one is tympanion. Oh my, at these words. So let's see. First things first, are we under the correct code for this one? Are we removing a brain tumor? We did a craniotomy for excision of a posterior fossa brain abscess. Both of these are for tumors. So we might be under the wrong header for these. Let's go look up our 213s. 613, 21, and 20. We do have abscesses here. Awesome. So we can get rid of this one as a possible answer and that one. These two are both abscesses. The only difference is infratensional or intracranial. Just those two words. And see, we got tumor, and then we've got abscess right there for those. So intracranial or infratensional, whatever that word is. So then we can just decide which one it is based off that. Are y'all saying B or C? All the diagnosis codes and everything else that comes after is the same until you get here to the B and the A. If you don't know and you can't figure it out, then you can go look at your differences in your diagnosis codes. The 95 is in 2 answers, so I would be betting that it would be the C. What is our B? 95. Bacterial infection. And he has staph infection. P95. P95.61. Yep, and that's our MRSA, right? Methicillin. Yep. MSSA, not MRSA, but MMSA. Hey, Mean, how's it going? Well, I know, Carmen, we got to do it together where I just sit in the background and just be quiet and force you to look through it the way I do. And then that way it comes clear for sure. You just got to remember the steps. Good. What is considered a partial thickness wound? You'll see that one all together. What is considered a partial thickness wound? We've got damage does not penetrate below the dermis, does not penetrate below the dermis, and may be unlimited, lack of blood supply, devitalized. C. Yep, anytime, Carmen. Just let me know when you book if that day that you picked to book or whatever's available is not the date you want or the time you want. Just let me know when you need it, and I can usually pretty much accommodate what day and time you need. I just keep in mind that we go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday afternoons. Other than that, Tuesdays and Thursdays I can do anytime, usually. Partial thickness. For this one, our answer is A. You just have to remember to find your limited. Indeed. Let me find another one. I don't think the next one, that one's anatomy. I'll skip it. This one's anatomy. I want to keep in with the guidelines. Here we go. What is an acute exacerbation of asthma or COPD according to the guideline? Is it uncomplicated, worsening, superimposed, or severe enough? Worsening. Decompensation. That's right. Decompensation is right. Perfect. Let me get to the next one. That's anatomy. We did this one recently about the patient's right to change their medical record. We did that one just last week. These are 7,000, 8,000, 8,000. Oh, I can't. I hate that. Let me enter. Get that to go down so I can get the formatting fixed. Okay. Which one is true about critical care codes? Ooh, and we have A, B, C, D, and E to choose from. Which one in order to use critical care codes, which statement must be true? So we're looking for the correct answer, which is super helpful, instead of the wrong answer. We're not doing a brain tumor, we're doing an abscess. No. The only codes with an abscess are the other codes. On this one, critical care services can be provided in an internist office. Critical care services should be provided more than 15 minutes, but less than 30 minutes. If we do, we use the modifier 52. Time spent reviewing labs and other stuff cannot be included in determining time of care for critical care. Critical care services are never reported with a 31500, and a physician can provide services to another patient during the same time as providing critical care. We're looking for one that is true. There's only one out of A, B, C, D, and E that are true. The answer's A on this one. You can provide critical care services in an internist office. That one's true. Let's see. Which of the following statements is true regarding an ABN, an Advanced Beneficiary Notice? So again, we're looking for a true answer. Must specify only the CPT. A generic ABN. A generic ABN payment is possible. Oh, must be completed before delivery or must be obtained from the patient even in an emergency situation. Yep, we want it before delivery of services. Yep. Absolutely. Which service is covered by Medicare Part B? Is it chemotherapy, minor surgeries, in the office, dental care, or advanced living facility? Hey, Fidea. How's it going? It's good to see you. Part B is B. Minor surgeries in the office are covered. Good job. That's it of that one. Let me format another 6001 since that was super controversial. I gotta flip my laptop around again so I can have access to the keyboard. But format it. All right. So we got two with the same answer and different modifiers, which might be helpful in figuring out what's going on. 58 is staged. 78 is unplanned. So unplanned, staged, And then what is our 60? It's good to make sure we're under the right header. 602. 602. 60240 is a thyroidectomy, total, complete. Right? 60240, yep. Both lobes are removed if they did it this way. So let's check our question. Let's see what we got. So just skimming, I see planned return. So I know it's not going to be our unplanned return. So anything with a 78 I can get rid of for sure. What do you guys think? Are we good with staying where we're at with our 60? $58 is our stage or related procedure to a prior one. So this is definitely staged and related. They had a partial right thyroidectomy, right? And then they had planned return, and 78 says unplanned. So we've definitely got at least that. And if you're nervous about picking your 60, we've got our thyroidectomy. Our 71 is cervical approach. And our 60 is removal of all remaining thyroid tissue following previous removal of partial portion of the thyroid. So that whole CPT code descriptor is practically in this question. So yes, we got our C. Yep. Planned and unplanned. Yep, that was the only thing that was triggering this question. Let me format the next one real quick. Just haven't moved these around to where the answer is at the top instead of the bottom. And it's hard to cover up the question when the question's on top. But it's easier to do it this way. All right. Don't worry about all the back stuff. Just concentrate on those first codes. We've got 6 3s, 6s, and then we just have a difference between, we've got 2 8s, which might be super close together, and then a 5 and a 6. So let's go to the first code. 6 3 6 8 5. 6 3 6. 6 3 6 8 5. 8 5 is an insertion, and 88 is a revision. So are we inserting or replacing or revising, which can be kind of confusing, because revision is sort of like replacing. So these two may appear like they don't start out like the same, but they technically are. They're both about implantable spinal neurostimulators. Oh, let's see. We've got a pulse generator receiver. Yep, both of them do. The top one is direct or inductive coping. So we've definitely got the direct or inductive. The other one doesn't say anything about direct or inductive. Let's see if we're under the right header. So I'm not going to worry about what she had done in the past. Under anesthesia is where I'd like to start because the rest of this is probably not pertinent. But let's see, what did they do? What surgery did they do? They did place the leads tunneled, attached a new generator. Generator was placed in the skin pocket. So they put in a temporary one just to see if it would work, and since it did, they decided to put in a permanent lumbar neurotransmitter generator. So she went under a lunectomy. We're under repair for this one in our 85 and 88. Are we? Pulse generator. What do you guys think? Y'all are awful quiet. What would y'all do? Would you go look at your 50 and 63 to see where you're at? Did they use any radiation, any fluoroscope, anything like that? Because that's what our 63 is. It includes fluoroscope. Our 50 is an excision by lunectomy of a lesion or other herniated disc. But it looks like they're just doing a lunectomy. But the lunectomy had already been done 5 years ago. Yeah, she had already had the lunectomy 5 years ago. So this was just to insert a spinal neurotransmitter. But you have to figure out whether they're calling it an insertion, direct or inductive, or whether they're calling it a revision or removal of a neurostimulator. You like B because it's under placement of neurostimulator electrodes through lunectomy. Did they do a lunectomy today? The previous place leads are tunneled under the skin and attached to the new generator. So all they did was attach the new generator. Left the old leads in there. B looks better. What about your diagnosis codes? We don't have to forget about those. What is our M54.4? Because if you're blocked and you have no way of knowing in the middle of your exam, there's 2 different diagnosis codes. That could help get you down to 50-50 shot. Maybe you could utilize that technique. And because sometimes the diagnosis codes are more straightforward than the CPT code descriptors are. M54. Yeah, long reach. M54. Point 4 is low back pain with sciatica. Ugh. And then our 50 with the 0 is low back pain unspecified. Lord. For chronic low back pain, which one would be chronic? Low back pain unspecified or lump with sciatica? Do we see anything about sciatica in any of this? What do you guys think on the diagnosis code? The 4 has sciatica. And they call it lumbago, where the 5.0 says low back pain, unspecified. This says lumbar. Then that makes your B wrong for the CPT code. And we're back to just these two, the 85 and the 88. And receiver insertion or we're not revising the one that's in there or removing it. We are removing it, but what we're doing more so than anything is replacing it with just an upgraded version that can be in there longer than the other one that was only there for 5 years. Also, during the CPC exam, if it's a difference between a smaller numerically number or a bigger number, most of the time, not all the time, usually I find trends in it being the smaller number, but they're trying to trick you and make you think it's the bigger procedure, which is that one. You're okay. You're okay, Annie. It's just one of those things. It's very, very, very difficult to rationale out and to associate what are they talking about. And the codes are so vague and not enough information. You remember how I told y'all I was buying those books, the Insider View, so that I could find the bigger descriptions, but you have to buy every single year's. I got 2 more in today. I think this one is the 2021 version. No, that's 2022. That's the 2022. Now I've got the 19 and the 2021. One of them only cost me $3 with free shipping from Amazon. One of these things. And you know how, let me see, what years do we have on here? We've got 05, of course. 05 is where we're going to find, that's the last time they revised this one. I don't know if I have 05. Oh, what years do I have? I have 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I have 06. I don't have 05. I need to hunt for 06, but I'm close. if I had that book, we could find this correct CPT code descriptor, because these are super cool. They give you a full description of this procedure. Look how big that is just for a CPT code descriptor. They give you a full, instead of just one or two sentences, they actually have them in these books. And then they give you a clinical example and rationale to go with it too. But you have to have every single year of every one of those. This one got changed in 2010. I'd have to have that. It's just a nightmare to buy all the different ones, but it's where you can find bigger descriptors if you ever wanted them. And I'm trying to get them all, but man, I got to go way back for that one. Yep. But I like the 2022 one. I started with anesthesia and was going through all of these so that I could update the 2023 notes with the rationale and the descriptors from these that are going to be bigger with the clinical examples in the 2022 changes. But that's why I got these out right now. But you always need every single year. And Amazon, keep a watch on them, because they'll ship for free if you have Amazon Prime. And like I said, one of those books was just $3 this week. It's 95% off, which is great. Let me get another question ready for you guys. I just gotta format it, change it up. Here we go. Enter. Down. You need to go. And okay. Oops, where's A? A took off somewhere. There we go. Let me get D up. There we go. All right. So we got two that are the 28s. So I would go to that one and see what's going on there. 672. 672. 672. 28. So we're doing a laser. Photocoagulation. Usually vessels are the retinas if we're working in this area, because that's the retinopathy. I'm just talking about the CPT code descriptor. You did say D, I think, first. Yep. So let's see if we're under the right header. And could we times this one by 3? Does it look like anything in here says anything about being each or anything? I don't know. Do we bill per coagulation of each vessel? What are they asking us to do? So let's see. Do I have y'all big enough yet? Okay. So they did do three sessions of it. So they want to know, how would you bill this one? See, on this one, you need the insider view in 2008 or 16, which I don't have, but I got 6 other versions, but not those. Oh, it'd take you forever to master all those things. What do you guys think? Can we times 3 it? confused, do we need to go look up the differences between the diagnosis codes? Maybe that would be easier. You can always look up your H35 and your E11. We know we're in diabetes, right? Is there a diagnosis? The patient is diabetic. H is under what? What header is H under? H is, ABCDH is under diseases of the eye. So what caused the retinopathy? It's usually diabetes, so you'd code the diabetes first, right? Or do you code your eye disease first? Right? Because your diabetes code is going to have retinopathy inside of it. Right? Would you need 2 diagnoses for that or just the one? I bet our E11 3592 is diabetic retinopathy. So you'd only need the one code. And then that makes it easier. If you do get confused and don't know, you can always rationale it out. And don't let them confuse you, make you think you need to do 2 diagnoses for one disease. Or this is 2 diseases, but it's combined into one code. So our E11, yes, child?
Is your computer a PC?
Yes, my computer is a PC.
Do you think you can help me get mods on Gorilla Tag after your live is over?
I don't know what a mod is on Gorilla Tag. What is that?
No, they're mods. They're
What is a mod?
Like fly and do low gravity.
Modifications?
Yeah, it's like that lets you teleport and like go outside of the map.
Yeah, type 2 diabetes with proliferative diabetic retinopathy. Oh gosh, I can't talk today. Retinopathy. So yeah, it says the whole thing all in one, and that's super helpful to get you your right answer. Now we can talk about making sure that you know do not times 3, because we figured out that this will do all 3 of these, so that you know next time when you see this, we're not going to be timesing this. It's not an add-on code, and it doesn't have each in it, and you can add that diagnosis to that CPT code. Get you another one rearranged here. Move this one. Lord. I wonder where Aunt Shy is. She's supposed to be visiting today. I know she's in town somewhere, but she ought to be here pretty soon. I hope. We've got our aunt coming in. Ooh, this has got a lot of stuff in the answers. Oh my. Don't let it confuse you. All right. Move this one around. We have Surgeon A, Surgeon B. What? Let's check out our question. Are they wanting us to bill for Surgeon A and B? Because if so, that's cool. But we've got Surgeon A is going to bill one thing, Surgeon B is going to bill one thing. So do you think we've got a difference between our 90s and then a difference between our 91s? So we got to figure out who's doing what, and we got to keep it organized. Let's stay with our Surgeon A, 90, 90, 90, 90. So we really don't care. Surgeon A is 90 in all the answers. so we don't have to worry about that one. Surgeon B is 91, or the second code is 91. 91, we got 66. Would we have a 66 anywhere? That looks out of place, right? That modifier 66. Surgeon team, or do we call this, but it's the same procedure, right? So if it's the same procedure, which it has to be because Surgeon B is getting the same codes as this one, we can't say it's a team, right? We get rid of C, because that wouldn't be it. So that's helpful. And then we just need to know our timeses on this last thing. Does it even need a times? What is this 2 code? And why does one doctor get it and then another doctor doesn't? This one's the only ones that get the 62. Would we do 62 on all of them? Did they do all those procedures all in one? Third and the last, it's only one treatment. Do they both do all 3 procedures, or whatever's going on here? 1, 2, 3 procedures. Do we put 62 by all of them, and do they all get times 3? Surgeon A performs. Surgeon B does root nerve. Surgeon B places cage. Looks like Surgeon B does more, doesn't he, than Surgeon A? You like B? Do we times 3 that 225, 2285? Is it a code that we can times 2285? $2285. 22854 is an add-on code. Each contingent defect. Each. How many defects were there? There was defects on the 3, right? 1, 2, 3. I like B too, because we have Surgeon A doing his little step, and then we've got Surgeon B doing his, but also putting the cage on. And the cage gets to go on each one. And you do get to times it. So just looking it up and seeing that it's an add-on code saves you from there. Let's see, what else do we have on these 6,000s? I got one more I can rearrange here. It's a good one. And it's just a difference between our 4999. Is that our microscope or something? Do we have a microscope in that one? Our 499 and our 35. 499. Oh yeah, that's our microscope, right? And then our 35, 4, 6, 4, 6, 6, 4, 6, 6, 3, 5. Where is my 3, 5? So we got to check out Mama, code, because we're lumbar sacral of whatever we're doing, a destruction of something, or our unlisted procedure, which usually ends up being something about a radial nerve repair intermediate, somewhere around there. We got radio frequency, fluoroscope guidance, radio frequency of our faucet joints. So we got image guidance, fluoroscope, and CT is included in our 33, which is the parent code to our 35, which means it's included in that one. Our 49999 is usually nerve repair. We've got our radial nerve repair intermediate. Ulnar radial is what I use for that one. And our 36. Single faucet joint for each additional faucet joint. How many joints did we have? Do we have any do nots that will help us get rid of anything? Did y'all check out the do nots? It says, yep, don't use radiology on them. If we did bilateral, we're going to use our 50. We do have bilateral. What does it mean when the codes are out of sequence? It means you got to go find them. When the codes are out of sequence, that means that the book is set up to be in numerical order. All the codes are in numerical order, number-wise. And when they're not in numerical order and they need to move them to another page, they tell you that they put them in between that code and all of these codes. So this code, you'd have to search 44 codes to find it. You'd start with that code number and go all the way until you get to 84, and hopefully you find it. Same thing with this one. You'd start at 83 code and you go all the way to 86 until you found it. So they're out of sequence. What I tell everybody to do is to write the page number down when you find it, which is super helpful. I write down the column number, 1 or 2, because there's 2 columns per page, so that my eyes can go to one or the other faster. You don't have to do that, but at least put down the page number so that you don't have to go looking for another code for that code during the middle of the exam, and you got 4 codes or more like this to look up. And then if they're all out of range and then you have to look up other codes to find that code, it gets nightmarish, and then you've got too much to deal with. First thing y'all got to know is, can you code your, am I in the right codes? 4646. We're in our 46s. Can you code those two together? Those are out of sequence, of course. This is an add-on code. It says you're supposed to use the 35 with the 36, so it does say it's okay to use. It says it's okay to use the 50 modifier if you do bilateral. So Mean, why do you think it's the 999 unspecified code versus this one? What draws you to the 999 code? I've used it on some answers for, we had an ice skater that had some lacerations to the radial nerve, and we used that 99 code. Even though I wrote the number down wrong, I put an O at the end, but this one's unspecified. Now, they do have it listed in a lot of the CPT assistants. Travis, what is that noise you're making?
That was James.
Oh.
When's Aunt Shy coming?
I don't know. She's in town, and she messaged me. She said, how's everybody? I said, she's at 4 o'clock. She says, how are you guys doing? And I told her everybody was great. I'll let her know. Boys are asking.